Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we will mark another milestone in the history of our country and continent when heads of state and government arrive in South Africa for the 5th BRICS summit, which will take place in Durban. We are privileged to be hosting the following leaders: Her Excellency President Dilma Rousseff of the Federative Republic of Brazil, His Excellency President Vladimir Putin of the Russian Federation, His Excellency President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China, and the Honorable Prime Minister Manmohan Singh of the Republic of India. The theme for this 5th BRICS summit is BRICS and Africa Partnership for Development, Integration, and Industrialization. The summit coincides with the historic celebration in May this year of the 5th anniversary of the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, which has evolved into the African Union. As part of marking this milestone and promoting African renewal, I will be hosting the BRICS Leaders Africa Dialogue Forum retreat after the conclusion of the 5th BRICS Summit. I have invited 15 African heads of states. These include the chairperson of the African Union, the chairperson of the NEPAD Heads of States and Government Orientation Committee, the heads of state and government chairing the AU's 8 regional economic communities, as well as the heads of state and government championing the AU NEPAD Presidential Infrastructure Championing Initiative. I've also invited chairperson of the African Union Commission. In all, we will host 19 heads of state and government from BRICS and the continent. This is a real privilege for our young nation. The Africa Retreat will meet under the theme Unlocking Africa's Potential, BRICS and Africa Cooperation on Infrastructure. The retreat will reflect primarily on infrastructure development, as well as integration and industrialization, which are aligned to Africa's own priorities for the mutual benefit of the BRICS countries and the continent. Tomorrow, on the 26th of March, we have the honor of hosting the President of the People's Republic of China for a state visit, so soon after his assumption of office. Several agreements will be signed, cementing economic ties between the two countries. I also have the privilege to host the President of the Russian Federation on a working visit also tomorrow on the 26th of March. We expect to sign a declaration on strategic partnership of the two countries. A number of important agreements will also be signed by ministers in the fields of arts and culture, agriculture, energy, science and technology, transport, and other legal frameworks. We will also hold bilateral discussions with the President of the Federal Republic of Brazil and the Prime Minister of India to further deepen cooperation. We will also sign some agreements collectively as BRICS during the 2 fruitful days. The 5th summit of BRICS includes the first 5-year cycle. South Africa will chair the group for 12 months after Durban and then hand over to Brazil. The 2013 summit, like those before it, takes place against the backdrop of the continued economic difficulties across the globe. In 2012, BRICS economies served as a bulwark in the global economy when most developed economies witnessed sharp slowdowns or negative growth. The collective strength of the BRICS economies is therefore a crucial factor in the global economy. South Africa values its membership of BRICS immensely. Our national policy framework, the National Development Plan, and the operational plans falling under its umbrella, such as the New Growth Path and the Industrial Policy Action Plan 3, emphasize the identification of opportunities in the fast-growing economies of China, India, and Brazil, both in terms of export promotion and as sources of foreign direct investment. BRICS fits in well with our National Development Plan objectives of raising employment through faster economic growth, improving the quality of education, skills development, and innovation, as well as building the capacity of the state to play a developmental role, transformative role. At a global level, we want to obtain increased support for the reform of international financial institutions, the revival of the Doha Development Agenda, as well as the reform of the United Nations, including the United Nations Security Council. The importance of BRICS for South Africa is best reflected in bilateral trade relations at the practical level. In 2012, South Africa's total trade with the BRICS countries stood at 294 billion rand, which is 11% higher than the 2011 figure of 264 billion rand. Total trade with Brazil grew from 18 billion rand in 2011 to 20 billion in 2011 to 20 billion rand in 2012, representing growth of 11%. Total trade with Russia increased from 3 billion rand in 2011 to 5 billion rand in 2012, representing the growth of 45%. Total trade with India, which is South Africa's 6th largest trading partner, grew substantially from 53 billion rand in 2011 to 67 billion rand in 2012, representing growth of over 26%. China ranks first among the BRICS partners and is South Africa's largest bilateral trading partner, with a total trade expanding from 188.42 billion rand in 2011 to 201 billion rand in 2012, representing the growth of 7%. Intra-BRICS trade expanded by 28% in 2011 to reach $230 billion. Another area of focus is infrastructure development at a domestic, regional, and continental level. To further expand economic relations, a BRICS Business Forum is planned for tomorrow on the 26th March in Durban. The areas of focus include infrastructure, energy, financial services, mining and beneficiation, as well as agro-processing. These will be deliberated upon for presentation to the heads of state and government of BRICS member states. The forum will be attended by 125 delegates from China, 125 from the Russian Federation, 74 from India, 60 from Brazil, and 242 from South Africa. We are scheduled also to launch the BRICS Business Council during the summit. Other deliberations will focus on the proposed BRICS Trade and Risk Development Pool, which will harness the collective and reinsurance capacity as well as facilitate intra-BRICS trade and investment. Furthermore, business will also deliberate on the envisaged BRICS cable, which will focus on a new high-capacity optic fiber cable of 28,400 kilometers linking the BRICS countries. This will remove the dependency on developed countries as interconnection points and will provide direct communications among BRICS countries. A major output for us will be the establishment of the BRICS Development Bank to assist in mobilizing resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects in BRICS and other emerging economies. The BRICS finance ministers will present results of the feasibility study during the summit. A BRICS academic forum was held from 11 to 13th March 2013 at the Durban University of Technology. It is another successful outcome ahead of the summit. South Africa, as host country, has a good reputation of hosting international events of this magnitude. We have hosted mega events exceptionally well in the past, and we intend to make this BRICS summit a successful and memorable one too for all delegates who will be attending. We extend a warm welcome to all our special guests and wish them a wonderful stay in our country. I thank you.